day in the life, a day in the life of a star. Welcome and good evening. Settle in, find the softest, stillest place you can, and let yourself sink down into it, a little deeper than before. Close your eyes if they are not already closed. There is nothing left to do tonight, nothing to fix, nothing to finish, nothing to remember. The day is behind you now, folded away and quiet, and the night is yours. Let your breath begin to slow, all on its own, in and out, slow and easy, like something very old and very patient, breathing in the dark. You do not need to guide it, you do not need to count it or deepen it, or make it into anything at all. Just let it move, soft and unhurried, the way light moves across the emptiness between the stars. Before we travel anywhere at all, let us take a little time, right here, simply to arrive, to grow heavy, to settle fully into this bed, into this room, into this soft and welcome dark. There is no hurry tonight. There is no hurry in the whole of the sky. So for now, just let yourself be here. Bring your attention gently down to your feet. Notice them and then let them go. Let them grow warm and loose and heavy, sinking down into the bed as though they were sinking into warm sand. There is nothing they need to do now. Let that soft heaviness begin to rise slowly up through your ankles and your shins and your knees until your legs grow heavy too and still and settle down like stones, settling to rest on the floor of a deep and quiet sea. Let it keep rising. Let your hips and your back grow heavy and sink. Let your belly soften with each slow breath. Let your hands lie open and still, and let the warmth flow up through your arms, into your shoulders, and feel your shoulders drop at last, away from your ears, down and down, setting the whole long day gently on the ground. And let it reach softly into your face. Let your jaw loosen and part just a little. Let your cheeks grow soft. Let the space between your eyebrows grow smooth and wide and calm. Let your eyes rest heavy and still in the dark behind your closed lids. There is nothing left to hold, nothing to carry, nothing to keep. Take one slow breath all the way down and let it go with a soft sigh and feel yourself grow a little heavier still. And one more, slow and deep, and let it go. And now let your breath find its own quiet rhythm and forget about it completely. You are ready now. Now, softly, we can begin to drift. Tonight, we are going to follow a single star, one star out of all the countless, uncountable stars in the sky. We will follow it from the very beginning, from before the beginning, really, when it was only a cold, dark cloud drifting in the dark, all the way through its long, slow, shining life, and gently onward to its quiet rest at the end. It is a very long story, longer than anything, longer than the mountains, longer than the oceans, longer than the whole history of everything that has ever lived. But do not let that trouble you. We will not be hurrying through it. We will drift and pause and drift again, and the story will unfold as slowly as you like. You do not need to follow closely. You do not need to understand anything or picture anything perfectly or hold on to a single word. If your mind wanders away into the dark, that is perfectly all right. If you drift off to sleep long before our little star has finished shining, then that is the most welcome ending of all. Let the words be like starlight on a window, faint and soft and endlessly patient. Let them carry you somewhere quieter than here. So, Let us begin, and let us begin as everything begins, in the cold and the dark and the quiet, long before there was any light at all. Imagine the space between the stars, not the bright, busy sky, but the deep dark in between. It is quieter out here than anywhere you have ever been. There is no sound, there is no wind, there is nothing to hurry, and nothing to arrive, and nothing that needs doing. There is only the dark, going on, soft and endless, in every direction, and drifting in that dark there is a cloud, a vast, cold, slow cloud of dust and gas, so thin you could pass your hand through it and feel nothing at all, and so wide that light itself would take years to cross it. It is not glowing, it is not doing anything, it is simply drifting, the way it has drifted for a very long time, turning ever so slowly in the quiet, in no hurry whatsoever. This cloud is where our star will come from. Not yet, not for a long while yet, but everything the star will ever be is already here, scattered thin and cold and patient in the dark, waiting without impatience, the way a seed waits under winter ground. Rest here a moment in the cold quiet of the cloud. There is nothing to see exactly, only the faintest haze against the darker dark, and far off, softened by all that dust, the small distant lights of other older stars. It is cool here, it is still, it is one of the quietest places in all of creation, and nothing has hurried here for 100 million years. Let yourself feel how vast it is, and how gentle that vastness is. There is no edge you could fall from. There is nothing that could reach you. The cloud is so thin and so wide that you could drift through it for a lifetime and never once feel it touch you. And yet it holds enough within it to make whole suns and whole worlds. It is a nursery, though nothing has been born in it yet. It is only dark and cold and softly waiting, and it has all the time in the world. And far off, so far that their light arrives thin and faint and blue through all that drifting dust, there are older stars, small and quiet and steady, keeping their long watch on the other side of the dark. They are not close enough to warm anything here. They are only there, glimmering faintly at the edges of the cloud, the way a distant street light glimmers through a curtain in a room where someone is sleeping, comforting, far away, nothing you need to do anything about at all. And now, so gently that nothing seems to happen at all, the cloud begins to gather. Gravity is doing this, but do not think of gravity as something forceful or grasping. Out here it is the softest thing imaginable. It is only a leaning. Every mote of dust in that vast cloud leans, ever so slightly, toward every other mote of dust, and over a very long time all those tiny leanings begin to add up. The cloud begins, so slowly, to draw itself in. There is no rush in this, there is no urgency at all. It happens over millions of years, and then tens of millions, so gradually that if you could watch it, you would see nothing move. Only, if you came back after a very long while, you would find the cloud a little smaller, a little denser, a little more gathered toward its own quiet heart. Imagine watching it. You could sit in the dark beside that cloud for 1,000 years and see nothing happen at all. You could sleep for 10,000 years and wake, and it would look exactly the same. And yet all that time it would be working, quietly, without any effort, the way a tide comes in without ever seeming to move, the way sleep comes without your ever noticing the moment it arrives. Nothing forced, nothing hurried, only the slow, sure, patient drawing together of everything that will one day shine. This is how the biggest things in the universe are made, not quickly, not fiercely, just softly, over unimaginable stretches of quiet time, by things leaning gently toward one another in the dark. There is no other way it has ever been done. Let yourself gather, too, not tightly, not with effort. Just let everything that is scattered in you drift a little closer to the middle, the way the cloud is drifting inward, without hurry, without strain. All the loose thoughts of the day, all the small unfinished things, let them draw in and settle and grow quiet and close and heavy at your center. As the cloud gathers, something begins to change at its heart. All that gathering, all that gentle leaning inward, begins to press the dust and gas together. And when things press together, they grow warm. It is a very small warmth at first, barely anything, but it grows slowly, the way the warmth grows under a blanket, softly, without any effort, simply from being held close. The center of the cloud is becoming a heart, not yet a star, not yet shining, just a warm, dense, slowly turning place, deep inside the dark, growing quietly warmer, gathering more and more of the cloud in toward itself. Around it, the rest of the cloud begins to turn, very slowly, like water turning in a wide bowl, flattening as it turns into a great slow disk of dust with a warm and glowing heart. And it is still dark. That is the wonder of it. All this gathering, all this turning, all this slow patient work, and the cloud is still dark, and the space around it is still black, and there is still no light in all that quiet. Everything that is about to happen is still gathering itself in the dark, taking its time, in no hurry to begin. Then, at last, deep in the heart of it, the pressure and the warmth become enough, and something switches on, not with a bang, not with a flash. Deep inside that dense warm center, the smallest possible things begin to touch and join and become something new. And in the joining, they let go of a little light, and then a little more, and a little more, and the star begins to shine. Not outward at first, not yet. The light is born in the very core, and it cannot simply leap out into the dark, because all around it lies the whole thick body of the star. So the light begins to travel, and here is one of the gentlest, slowest, most patient things in all of nature. It takes an unimaginably long time for that light to work its way out, tens of thousands of years, longer, drifting and being absorbed and released again, and drifting a little further, over and over and over, all the long, slow way from the heart to the surface. Think of that, a single glimmer of light wandering patiently outward through the warm dark for longer than there have been cities on the earth. Not lost, not struggling, just moving slowly in the only direction there is, taking exactly as long as it takes. There is no hurry in the heart of a star. There has never been any hurry. And then, at last, one day, the light reaches the surface, and our star, which has been gathering in silence for millions of years, opens its eyes and shines out into the dark. Imagine that first light, a soft glow blooming out into a blackness that has never held any light before. It spills into the drifting dust around it. It lights the great slow disk, and the dust glows warm and gold. And then it goes on outward into the empty dark beyond, and it does not stop, and it will not stop for a very long time indeed. Rest here for a while in the first light of a new star. There is no need to go anywhere. Let it be warm, let it be quiet. Let the soft gold light spread slowly out through the drifting dust and settle over everything, the way lamplight settles into a room at the end of the day. Around the young star, in that turning disk, other slow things are happening. Grains of dust are drifting into one another and sticking softly and growing. Pebbles become boulders. Boulders drift together and become mountains, and the mountains drift together too, over ages and ages, until here and there in the wide turning disk there are worlds. Small ones close in, warm and rocky, great soft giants further out, wrapped in cloud, all of them turning quietly around the new star in the new light, taking their long, slow places in the dark. And our star is not alone in this. That great cold cloud was wide enough to make many stars, and all across it, in other quiet corners, other hearts have been gathering in the dark at the same slow pace. So as our star opens its eyes, others are opening theirs too, here and there across the drifting dust, until the whole cloud is scattered with soft new lights, like lamps coming on one by one in the windows of a valley at dusk. They will drift apart eventually, not with any sadness, and not for a very long time. They will simply turn together for a while, warm and close in the glowing dust, and then the slow turning of everything will carry them gently away from one another, out into the wider dark, each on its own long quiet path. And ever after, each of them will be somebody's distant star, glimmering faintly on the other side of the night. And then everything settles, and this is the longest part of the story, and the quietest, and the very best part for a night like this one, because now the star simply shines, and it goes on shining, and it shines for billions upon billions of years. Let us stay here a while, in the long middle of a star's life. Nothing dramatic is going to happen. That is precisely the point. There is a deep balance at work now, and it is the most patient balance in the universe. The great weight of the star is always pressing gently inward, and the warm light in its heart is always pushing gently outward, and the two of them lean against one another, evenly, endlessly, without struggle. Not a battle, a balance, like the way you are held right now between the softness of the bed beneath you and the quiet weight of the blanket above. And in that balance, the star holds steady, day after day, age after age. It does not rush, it does not tire, it does not wonder whether it is shining brightly enough, or quickly enough, or well enough. It simply shines quietly at its own unhurried pace for longer than you could ever hope to count. Let some of that settle into you as you lie here. There is nothing you need to hurry toward tonight, nothing you must finish, nothing you must be. The star does not hurry, and it holds up whole worlds. You may rest exactly as you are, and let the night take as long as it likes. And all across the wide dark, other stars are keeping their own balances, each at its own quiet pace. Some are small and cool and deep red, so thrifty with their light that they will still be glowing gently long after everything else has gone quiet, burning so slowly that their whole lives are longer than the universe has so far been old. Some drift in pairs, turning slowly around one another for billions of years, keeping each other company in the dark. Some are wrapped in soft veils of dust that make them glow like a lamp behind a curtain. None of them are in competition, none of them are hurrying. Each one simply shines at whatever pace it was made to shine, for as long as it has, and the sky is wide enough to hold every one of them without any crowding at all. It is a very peaceful arrangement. It has been going on quietly for a very long time, and it will go on long after tonight. Now let us follow one small piece of the light out into the dark and see where it goes, because the star is not only shining, it is giving. Every moment, in every direction, it is letting light go out into the emptiness, freely, without asking anything back. And each small ray sets out on a very long, very quiet journey. Out it goes, past the innermost world, close and hot and bare, past a second world wrapped in thick and heavy cloud, onward, further out, growing fainter and cooler as it goes, drifting through nothing at all, and taking its time. And then it falls upon a small blue world, far enough out that the light arrives gentle and warm, rather than fierce. And there, that quiet gift of light does something extraordinary, so slowly that no one notices. It lifts water off the oceans into the sky. It warms the air, and the warm air moves, and there is wind. It touches a green leaf, and the leaf takes it in and quietly grows. Everything that stirs on that little world stirs because of light that set out from a star long ago and drifted patiently across the dark. It falls on the surface of the sea, and the sea takes it and glitters. It falls on a wide field of grass, and the grass turns slowly toward it through the day. It falls on the back of a sleeping animal in the sun and warms it. It falls on the mountains, and the mountains grow gold in the evening. All of it a gift from a quiet old star that has never asked for anything and never hurried once. And at the end of the day, when that little world turns its face away, the light goes on falling somewhere else, on the other side, on other fields and other seas, so that the light never really stops. It only moves around, softly, the way a hand moves across a sleeping child's back, gently and steadily, and always coming round again. Perhaps some of it even falls on you. Not tonight, of course. Tonight your side of the world is turned into the dark, which is why you may rest. But it fell on you this morning, and it will fall on you again tomorrow. And it has fallen on you every day of your life without ever once being asked. Warmth on your face, light on the wall, old, old light that set out on its way long before you were born. And on the dark side of that little world, where it is night, people have always looked up. Long before there were roofs or lamps or windows, someone lay on their back in the grass at the end of the day and looked up into all those small far lights and felt the day loosen its hold on them. There is something very old in that, something older than any language, the looking up and the quieting and the slow letting go of everything that seemed so pressing while the sun was out. The stars have watched over an unbroken line of sleepers, every night of every year of every age, all the way back. Someone somewhere has lain down beneath them and closed their eyes and been carried off into the dark. And the stars kept shining through all of it, steady and unbothered, asking nothing, waiting patiently for morning. They are shining above your roof right now, doing exactly that, whether or not the clouds let you see them. You are simply the newest sleeper under a very old light. And meanwhile, out there, the star simply goes on, billions of years, whole ages of that little blue world, rising and falling beneath it, oceans forming, continents drifting slowly into new shapes, forests standing and falling and standing again, and all through it the same quiet star, holding its balance, keeping its unhurried pace, shining and shining and shining. Let us drift on now, through all those long ages, the way you drift through the last hour before sleep. Time can go softly here. Whole eons can pass while you breathe in and out. Nothing needs to be watched. Nothing needs to be tended. The star will keep shining whether or not anyone is looking, and you may let your grip on the story loosen entirely. But even a star's long life has a slow evening, and after a very great while, our star begins gently to change. Deep in its heart, after all those billions of years of quiet shining, the star begins to run low on the fuel it has been burning so patiently. And so, slowly, it begins to work differently. Its heart draws inward and grows hotter, and in response, its great outer layers begin to swell. And so the star grows larger and larger and larger still over millions of years until it has become vast, far bigger than it ever was in all its long middle life. And as it swells, its light changes. It cools and softens and reddens until the fierce white gold of its youth has become a deep and gentle amber, like the last of a fire, like the last light of a long summer evening. A great old red star, wide and calm and glowing softly in the dark. Not fierce any more, not hurrying, only warm. There is something very peaceful about this. The star has done its work. It has held its balance for billions of years and warmed its worlds, and now it lets itself soften and spread and glow, low and warm and red in the deepening dark. It is not failing, it is only easing. It is only letting go of the shape it held for so long and settling into something gentler. And this easing takes its time as well. Millions upon millions of years of slow, soft reddening. The way an afternoon takes its time becoming evening. The way a fire takes its time becoming embers. If you could stand somewhere far off and watch, you would see only a great calm amber light hanging in the dark, growing slowly wider and slowly warmer, in no hurry at all to be finished. It is a beautiful colour, that late light, deep and low and kind. It is the colour of a candle burning down. It is the colour of the last inch of sunset above a dark line of hills. It is the colour of a lamp left on in a hallway for someone who is already half asleep. There is nothing frightening in it anywhere. It is only the light of something very old and very tired, settling down at last and glowing softly while it rests. And then, in the end, the old star lets go entirely, but it does not do it harshly. It simply loosens its hold on its own outer layers and lets them drift away, softly, in great slow shells and rings and veils of glowing gas, spreading out into the dark, lit from within by the small hot heart the star has left behind. It is one of the most beautiful things in all the sky, a vast, delicate, glowing shell, like a smoke ring made of light, drifting slowly outward into the dark, unhurried and unafraid. And at the center of that soft, glowing ring, all that remains of our star is one small, quiet ember, very small now, very dense, still warm, still faintly shining, no bigger than a little world, resting there in the middle of everything it has let go of. And that ember does the gentlest thing of all. It cools, slowly, so slowly that the word slowly hardly means anything at all. For billions upon billions of years, longer than everything that came before, it simply lies there in the quiet dark, glowing more and more faintly, growing cooler and calmer and dimmer, resting and resting. and resting. Rest there with it for a while. There is nothing to watch and nothing to wait for. The glowing ring drifts slowly outward, thinning as it goes, growing softer and wider and fainter. The little ember at the center lies quiet, holding the last of its warmth, giving it up to the dark so gradually that whole ages pass between 1 degree and the next. It is the deepest rest there is. Nothing is required of it any more. Nothing is expected. It has shone for billions of years, and now it simply lies still in the quiet and cools. That is where our star's long story rests. Not in a fall, not in a fading away into nothing, just a small warm ember, cooling patiently in the dark, in the middle of a beautiful drifting ring of light, taken as long as it likes. If you are still here with me, drifting out in the quiet dark, that is good. And if you slipped away long ago, somewhere back in the long, warm middle of the star's life, that is good too. You do not need to hear how the story ends. The dark will hold you just the same, whether you are listening or not. So let go a little more now, sink a little deeper, grow a little heavier and warmer and stiller. But there is one more thing, and it is the loveliest part, and then we can let the story go entirely. All those layers the old star let go of, all that drifting, glowing gas, it does not vanish, it spreads out slowly into the dark, and mingles with the thin dust between the stars, and cools and quiets, and after a very long time it becomes what it was at the very beginning, a vast, cold, patient cloud drifting in the dark. And in that cloud, gravity begins ever so gently to lean, and the cloud begins ever so slowly to gather. And a new star begins. Nothing is lost, nothing is wasted. Everything the old star made in its long, quiet life is passed onward into the dark and drifts and gathers, and one day shines again in something new. New stars, new worlds, new oceans, and new mountains, and new fields of grass, turning slowly toward a new morning. And here is the quiet secret at the heart of it all. The iron in your blood, the calcium in your bones, the oxygen you are breathing in and out so slowly right now at the edge of sleep. All of it was made long ago in the warm heart of a star that let go and gave everything it had to the dark. You are made of that patience. You are made of that giving. You are, quite literally, old starlight, resting under a blanket in a dark room on a small blue world, letting the day go. So if you can, before you drift away entirely, know this, the light falling on your window tonight, from those small far stars set out on its journey long, long ago, and crossed all that quiet dark patiently, without hurrying, for years and years and years, just to arrive here tonight and rest softly on the glass while you sleep. It has come a very long way. It is in no hurry now, and neither are you. There is nothing more to follow, nothing more to picture, nothing more to do. Let the star shine on without you. It has been shining for billions of years, and it does not need you to stay awake and watch. It will keep its long, slow, patient balance all through the night, and it will still be shining in the morning. Let your breath grow slower and softer now, slow as the turning of a great old cloud in the dark. Let the last of your thoughts drift up and away like sparks, up into the quiet, growing smaller and dimmer and further away, until they are only faint far lights, and then not even that. You are held by this bed, by this quiet room, by the soft dark all around you, which asks nothing at all. And far above the roof, beyond the clouds, beyond the air, the old and patient stars are shining, as they have always shone, keeping their long watch over the sleeping world. Rest now, rest. The dark is soft, and the night is long, and the stars are in no hurry at all. And if any small thought should drift up now out of the quiet, do not chase it, and do not push it away. Just let it rise and cool and drift off into the dark, the way the old star let go of everything it held and let it drift away into the night. Let each thought go the way the whole day has gone, softly, completely. Nothing is lost when you let it go. It is only drifting somewhere out in the quiet, patient and safe, waiting to become something else. There is nothing left to carry. There is nothing left to hold. There is only this bed and this dark and the slow, soft weight of your own body sinking down and down and further down. There is only the warmth now, only the weight, only the slow, quiet tide of your own breath, moving in and out and in again. The stars are shining, far away and patient. The old light is drifting gently down through the dark. And you are exactly where you need to be, warm and safe and still, sinking softly down into sleep. Drift now, drift and rest, and let the quiet dark carry you the rest of the way, down and down and down into sleep. Sleep now, sleep, sleep.